While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to ask you guys this question. Is there a scenario where this is it for Bryce Young? Like, this is the end of the journey? I don't know, man, but I tell you what, as where it stands right now, I don't like his odds. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great start to your week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. Man, oh man, when I first saw this news today, I thought it was a joke. Somebody sent this to me on Twitter earlier. Well, they didn't send it to me. They tagged me in it. You get how Twitter works. And I was like, oh, this is one of those troll or meme accounts. Quickly swiped off of it. But then I got the ESPN update that Bryce Young, the number 1 overall pick, is being benched for Andy freaking Dalton. No disrespect to Andy Dalton, although he's not really that good of a quarterback. This has everything to do with the Panthers and Bryce Young. Bryce Young has more talent on his pinky toe than Andy Dalton has in his entire body. This entire situation is bullcrap. It's a flat-out joke, utter disgrace, and it's why the Panthers organization is one of the worst of all time. And in this video, it's really going to be a ranty type of video. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm just going to explain why this is such a terrible decision, and there's just a lot we're going to get into. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I'm about to go on a major rant and tangent. I can just feel it coming. Bryce Young isn't even 2 years into his career, and you're benching him. Now, I would understand it a little bit more if he was playing for a somewhat decent of a team and he was throwing like 3 to 4 interceptions per game. But that is not, and I'm going to repeat that is not what is happening here. The Panthers sucking and losing almost has zero to do with Bryce Young. I firmly believe you could put prime Tom Brady back there. Actually, let's do this. You could put current Patrick Mahomes back there and the Panthers aren't going to be too much better. That's how awful they are. And I've yet to see in my entire lifetime an offensive line this bad. You know who the Panthers remind me of? Have you ever seen that old movie called The Bad News Bears? That's them. If you know, you know. And all these casuals, their one argument is, oh, well, Bryce Young, he hasn't been playing good. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, buddy, but nobody's going to be good for the Panthers. They're that bad. And most times in the NFL, a main reason you're a terrible franchise or you're not a very good football team is because of the quarterback. I'd say 90% of the times, if you're not making it to the playoffs, you can put a lot of the blame on the quarterback. But in this situation, this is just one of those rare ones where it is not the quarterback's fault. And I brought some cold hard facts and evidence to back this up, so get ready. I only need 2 pieces of evidence. Number 1, Baker Mayfield. Number 2, Sam Darnold. Y'all remember Baker Mayfield with the Panthers, right? He was awful. People were questioning how he even made it to the NFL. People were talking about how he can't pass, he has 0 accuracy, he can't read a defense, so on and so on. They were ripping that guy to shreds. What happens? He leaves, and now he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Sam Darnold, on the other hand, look at him. He played pretty good last week. Here's a fun fact for you. Since Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold have left the Panthers, they have combined for 46 touchdowns to only 14 INTs. When they were with the Panthers, they combined for 22 touchdowns to 19 INTs. And it's not even driving me insane, but what has me shaking my head, and it's like the foolishness of some people, is they were legitimately trying to argue on Twitter and social media and everywhere that Bryce Young's just not a good quarterback. That right there is one of the stupidest arguments I've ever seen, and you just don't know ball if you actually believe that. I hope the people writing those comments, they're just trolling because there's no way, not a shot you believe it. I know it's college, but did you see that one drive he had against Auburn with a minute to go and 0 timeouts? Did you see him last year? Hey, there are a couple games where he single-handedly had the Panthers in it. And I'm going to be honest with you, as a person who is wanting and rooting for Bryce Young to succeed, I wish the Panthers would just trade him. Trade him to any other sports organization. Matter of fact, let's do this. Put him on the Dolphins. How do you think he'd be doing there? I guarantee you in that Mike McDaniels offense with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, he'd be lighting defenses up. One thing I've learned about not just the NFL, but the NBA too, professional sports, is wherever you get drafted, it determines how successful you're going to be. It's really all about going to the right situation and the right fit and just a good franchise. I'll give you a great example. In the NBA, 2 of the best franchises you can go to for player development is the Golden State Warriors and the Miami Heat. Especially the Miami Heat, they're always turning in late second-round picks and undrafted free agents into superstars. Or not superstars, but you get what I'm trying to say, really good players. Same thing for Golden State, whereas if you go to the Hornets, yeah, you're just straight up screwed. Same thing in the NFL. One of the better franchises that sticks out to me when it comes to player development, the 49ers. Let me ask you a question. What if Bryce Young and Brock Purdy were to switch teams? I guarantee you Bryce Young will be doing just as good, if not better, than Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy be doing just as bad as Bryce Young. It's sad it's this way, but it doesn't matter how great you are. If you go to a terrible franchise, you're going to look bad. Whatever team you're playing for, it's going to enhance you for better or for worse. If you're an average player and you go to, let's just say, the 49ers for the sake of this video, you're going to look like a good player. On the contrary, if you're an average player and you go to the Panthers, you're going to look like a bad player. When the team's bad, it makes you look worse than what you are. And when the team's great, it makes you look better than what you are. I can sit up here and do this all day. Same thing with CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. And it's funny because we thought originally heading into the draft that out of all the teams and all the players, CJ Stroud was going to the worst one of the bunch. But come to find out, no, Bryce Young, he got the bad draw. With all that being said, I know I'm taking up for Bryce Young, but he hasn't played too hot this year. I'm not trying to sit up here and convince you he's a top 10 quarterback in this league. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm trying to tell you is he has potential and he is much better than what people are giving him credit for. And he's also way better than how he's looked in these games. He has an uncanny ability to process, read defenses, and he has an outstanding arm. The only knock on him is, of course, the cliche one, he's a smaller guy. But like I was saying, he hasn't played too good this year. I believe, he hasn't even thrown a touchdown pass and has 3 INTs. But even in their most recent game, I know he didn't light them up. He was 18 for 26. That's okay. 84 yards, not good. 0 touchdowns, 1 INT. But the reason he has a good completion percentage here and he only has 80 passing yards, so 18 completion for 80 yards, that's terrible, is because he doesn't have time to throw the ball down the field. And yes, there's been a couple of throws he's missed here and there. We could single him out, but you can do that with every single quarterback. You can do that with Mahomes. I just stumbled across this. This is an interesting comment. Bryce Young needs to honestly request a trade, but this is what piqued my interest. Who would want him, genuinely? You know, that's a really good question, and I'm curious. Let me know in the comment section. Who would want Bryce Young? I would say possibly a team like the Giants because Daniel Jones is awful. Maybe, I don't know, the Titans. You know, they got Will Levis, and he hasn't been looking too hot. The Raiders, maybe, and I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. My question would be, who wouldn't want Bryce Young? I'm not saying you got to start the guy, but to add a number 1 overall pick who just got drafted a couple years ago to the roster, I mean, that's not a bad addition. I honestly believe it's going to turn into a Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold situation. He'll eventually get out of that organization, and wherever he goes, he may not be the starter right away, but he's going to flourish. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to ask you guys this question. Is there a scenario where this is it for Bryce Young? Like, this is the end of the journey? Is he going to go down as an insanely talented high school quarterback and college quarterback that just could never make it in the NFL? I don't know, man, but I tell you what, as to where it stands right now, I don't like his odds. One knock I always had on Bryce Young, and I hate it for him because he can't control it, is his size. I knew at the collegiate level it wasn't going to amount to a hill of beans, but in the NFL it does. He is only roughly, on a good day, 5'10". Most people think he's actually 5'9". And I think it's going to boil down to this. He's got to be put, and I know we're harping on this, but he's got to be put in the right situation. I think he's extremely talented, and most NFL teams and executives would agree with that. But I don't think a lot of teams view him as a franchise caliber quarterback that could lead you to a championship or multiple ones at that. And the thing I hate the most if he doesn't get another opportunity is we'll never know just how good he could have actually been. There's many more things I could say, but I'll end it off here. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below. But